Hello there, people of the internet. You guys have seen this particular thing that I have here before. This is a vest that I've got all sorts of different stuff inside of, and this right here is what I consider to be like my buddy vest, my non-primary vest that I would give to a buddy if he ended up showing up with nothing. This is a dirt cheap, like sub $10 vest that I got off of eBay years ago, and I made some YouTube videos about it, talking about it, checking it out, seeing if it was any decent, and turns out it's actually quite decent. I was expecting this thing to fall apart, but I have literally used this exact vest on various hunting trips and camping trips and all sorts of stuff. I have gone, I've done a lot. I've done a lot with this vest, and I've actually used it for animal defense as well. As a matter of fact, there's still leaves and dirt and whatnot that are falling off this thing from that time where I had to use this as a weapon against an animal. But it's still holding itself together, and it's to the point where I don't really see anything falling apart besides these cheapo little shotgun shell holders that I never use anyway, right here on the front of this pocket. And these are Velcro; they'd just come off if I felt like getting rid of them. But I figure since they're there, I'm not gonna get rid of them. But I have had people make fun of me for having this thing on person, and meanwhile, the people that are making fun of me have absolutely no means of carrying anything around themselves. So that's just one of the things that catches me off guard. Whenever somebody's like, "Ha, what are you wearing with that stupid cheapo airsoft wannabe looking LARPing looking just insert your choice of what do you call it? Insult. Insert your choice of insult here." I don't really want to start saying some of the things that are said because YouTube will flag this video. So a lot of people harp on me for having something like this, and then at the gun range they'll end up pulling AR mags out of their back pocket or something because they don't have any means to be able to carry things around. And with this right here, my God, this vest has come really in handy, because I've had several situations living up in North Florida where we have lost power, lost resources, lost the ability to go to town for a bunch of time, like weeks at a time, and it's happened multiple times. And that's just one of the things that you get whenever you're living out in the middle of nowhere. But with this right here, I got knives and fire starters, and I got blankets, and I got 4 AR mags and a sidearm, and I've got extra magazines for said sidearm. I got flashlights, I got battery chargers, I got medications and first aid stuff in the event that something happens. I got a bunch of stuff on this. I got communications, there's just a ton. There's a ton of stuff that I have on this thing. I've got Mylar systems all over this thing to where I could add on more stuff if I felt like it. But this cheapo vest, this is definitely something that I would consider to be well worth the money if you don't have anything. And that's kind of the argument that I'm going to be making in this video. If you don't have anything for, carrying things around, then you should get something. It doesn't even have to look militaristic like this right here. Like, I throw this on, and let's be honest, I look like an airsoft LARPer. But in the event that I actually end up needing something, and if I'm out, camping or hiking or hunting or whatever, there are plenty of times where I end up needing something, and I'm like, oh, what a convenient little vest that I happen to have on that has the things that I need. So that is definitely a very, very nice little option to have. But even if you don't want to use a vest, this right here is just a camping backpack that I have all sorts of different stuff inside of for any sort of purposes that I might need. This is Ozark Trails. I think I spent $7 on this backpack or something, and I actually use this backpack for training purposes. This backpack weighs probably about, rough estimation, 50 pounds, 45 pounds, somewhere around that ballpark. And I've got food, water purification, I've got communications, I've got stuff in here to be able to set up different shelters, I've got paracord and things to strap things down. This right here is a hand saw. Inside of this, I typically keep this radio. This is a hand crank solar powered radio that you can also use to charge devices. I've got batteries and battery chargers inside of this thing, so if I have flashlights and whatnot, then I can go ahead and use my solar chargers to charge my batteries and whatnot. I've also got this solar charger that I typically keep in there as well. Not very expensive, but they do work. As a matter of fact, these right here, these two solar chargers are what I use to keep my devices running whenever I was without power in this last hurricane at the middle of 2023, whenever it is that it hit a couple months back, at time of recording this. Last hurricane hit, and we were without power for like 2.5 weeks. And to get my cell phone and flashlights and whatnot charged up, I used these right here, and that was good enough for me for using in that particular situation. But I got means to cook in this thing. I got fire starters. I got a bunch of medical supplies. I got, like I said, water purification stuff. I got little gimmicks of things that I like just kind of tossed in there because I had extra room in there. This has a little survival kit. It's got fire starters and navigation and little hand tools and whatnot in it. There's more or less just a gimmick item. I got medications. I got, actually, this is something that I need right now. A little pocket tool. Go ahead and toss that aside. I got all sorts of different foods, and I got soaps. I got little tiny hotel room soaps. I got some coffees and some barter items, and there's little tiny dollar bottles of whiskey, because sometimes those can really come in handy. And they really have come in handy because I've taken this bag out for camping on numerous occasions. In this pocket right here, I don't currently have it because I was using it for recording purposes, but in this pocket I normally keep a Ziploc bag, a 22 long rifle, and then on the side of this bag I'll keep my fold-up Henry 22, the one that breaks down the AR-7 look-alike, their survival rifle. I got different kinds of antibiotics in here. I've got ammunition for that rifle that I keep on here. I've got means to cook and boil water, and I've got knives and emergency blankets and ways to stop water from getting into places, bags. I've got just standard old bar of soap. Something like this would really come in handy if you find yourself out in a spot for long periods of time. I got spare socks in this thing. I got a lot of different stuff in this thing, but this doesn't look like a military survival bag, but boy oh boy, could this right here really assist you with survival. This is not my primary. My primary is a rucksack, and I carry a lot more stuff in my primary than I do on this thing. But this right here is more like a camping bag than anything else. I got bags of rice in here, and I got little pots to cook said rice. I've got cans of tuna and cans of beans and all sorts of stuff. I could survive it for quite a long time on this bag. I got little hatchets, little knives, little saws, flashlights, batteries, water purification, just water in general. This right here is a really, really nice little setup. And this bag, having this bag, a good, well, not necessarily even a good quality bag, but a bag that I feel comfortable relying on because it has held up to the test of time very, very well. I don't feel bad about using this bag. I have used this bag for, at this point, years now, playing around with that thing. So if you are in a situation where you don't have a means to carry things around, and you're just like relying on your pockets or something like that, it does not take a lot to be able to carry something around. Like, all you need is a book bag, like this right here. Wow, that is heavy, pulling it up like that. Or spend $10 on, like, a vest or a chest rig. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I'll toss this on for y'all, because whenever it's just sitting like that, it looks like just a pile of gear. So here's the chest rig. Throw it on like that. I got actually, I'll call it a battle belt, because that's kind of what it is. It's a battle belt with M-lock system, or not M-lock, sorry, I'm a firearms guy. It's got Mylar systems on it, and you can mount whatever it is that you want on it. I've got soap, cleaning supplies, and medications attached to that. Right here, AR mags. Up here, I got an AR mag with tracer rounds for just in case purposes. I've got fire starters. I've got, actually, this is a really good idea. If you've never done it, bring hand sanitizer. It's a really good way to get a fire started because it has alcohol inside of it. A bunch of lighters. I got flashlights. I've got spare magazines. I've got all sorts of stuff. That's the flashlight. Where is it? I got a couple of knives in here. Those have also come in handy. This came in handy last time I went hunting because I was out there and it got cold. I got, oh look, I even got a little compass. I was wondering where this went. I got compass. I got emergency blankets. I got, you name it. I probably got it somewhere on here. Bottom line, get a way to carry around stuff. I don't care if you don't have a whole lot of stuff to carry around. If you do not have the means to carry it around, then go out and get yourself a means to carry it. I don't care how much money you spend on it. I don't care what it looks like. Preferably something black or camo, something that doesn't stand out like neon green or neon orange or something like that. But if that's all you got, then that's all you got. In this particular case, I got a book bag filled with all sorts of goodies that I can go on for a long time with. And I got a vest to boot, and that right there is a really, really good setup for the amount of money that I spent on it. This right here is, like I said, I would consider it a camping setup or a buddy setup or something like that. Not my primary by any stretch of the imagination, but boy, is that right there a half decent way to go, especially if we're talking about just budget stuff. $10 vest, $7 backpack. I got the vest off of eBay and the backpack I got down at a local Walmart. And I got all sorts of stuff in there. And having that capacity and ability to be able to carry these things around is significantly more beneficial than just trying to utilize things in my backpack. A lot of people will get themselves something like this right here. This is an AR, obviously a retro M16 style build. KP 15 lower, PSA upper. But a lot of people will get themselves something like this, and they'll have the one magazine, and they'll have a couple of boxes of ammunition, which I have around here somewhere. They'll have a couple of boxes of ammo, and they'll be like, okay, cool, I'm good, I'm set, I'm ready for the apocalypse. And then some minor thing happens, like the hurricane knocks out power for a week. Or, I mean, insert your choice of minor inconvenience here, to where suddenly this right here is not enough and you find yourself in a situation where you're not doing gunfights, you're in a situation where you need water or you need to recharge your items or you need food because you can't go to town because the roads are blocked or flooded or there's something stopping you. There's plenty of situations out there where you need extra items besides just this right here. Although having this right here is important, you're gonna need more. You're gonna need more than just something like that. And these right here are a really good way to be able to carry these things around as necessary. As a matter of fact, during the hurricane, whenever the hurricane came through and we were without power, there's been multiple times where we've been like weeks without power out with where I live and we can't get to town. And I've seen actually my neighbors on the side of the road begging for resources because they ended up running out because they just weren't stocked up. Hurricane came around and they were like, all right, let's go out and get some whiskey and get drunk for the hurricane. And little did they know that they were going to be without power for a month. and then things got dicey. True story. That's actually legitimately what happened up in North Florida. My neighbors were begging for resources because they didn't have anything. Meanwhile, there were no gunfights. I did not need my M16 at all. However, my resources that I had in my bug-out equipment, although I did not bug out, I was very much bugging in, those definitely came in handy because I had to purify water because we were running out of water very rapidly. The water supply that we had, unfortunately, took some damage during the hurricane, so that was one of those unforeseen situations that has since been fixed. But I had to purify water, and we had to do the whole food situation. We had like a week and a half worth of food for everybody that was there because there were a lot more people there than I was expecting. Yeah, we had some people take some shelter at our house that I was not expecting to be there. So that was a situation in and of itself. But we ended up with a lot less food to go around than I was expecting because there was more people than I was expecting. So having those extra resources on standby for just-in-case purposes, be it dried goods or things that last longer, or canned goods, rice and beans, like insert your choice of prepping material here, having those on standby really came in handy. And having a means to be able to carry them around also definitely came in handy because I was at multiple locations throughout my little area, as opposed to just being at home helping out multiple people. It was a mess. That was a big mess, and I'm hopeful that we never have to go through anything like that again. But the backup things and ways to carry them around, very beneficial. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below is a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.